Hello and welcome to AdaPulse, the community-funded news channel keeping you up to date with all the news and emerging projects that are in and around the Cardano ecosystem. And as we're funded through Catalyst, there is no coin shilling or paid promotion. We're just here to break down information and deliver it to you in a way that's, best for you to understand. Like today, we've got an interesting article, Bitcoin KYC Mining, if you thought there ever was such a thing, and the parallels to Cardano Contingent staking. Now, this is an article by TheStoph, one of the newer writers that have been onboarded to the AdaPulse team, thanks to the funding we get through Catalyst. But this is a really good piece. I mean, contingent staking is a real hot topic at the moment. I don't know if you noticed. And this is some real sort of investigative journalism that he's done here. So let's join him on this journey through that. So do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe, and get that damn bell button so you can get notified as soon as we've got content available. And I'm Josh from ATM Stake Pool, your presenter for AdaPulse for today. Let's just crack straight on with this, shall we? Now, before we dive into the first chapter, I just want to say about this whole video and article as well, that its plan is to be an apolitical, financial and a historical applied sort of outlook into the current landscape of what's going on. We're not really here to take sides, we're just here to deliver information. But here we go, chapter 1, the Bitcoin mining pool landscape. Now, Chris, aka TheStoph, found this article recently, and it was titled, Does Foundry, referring to Digital Foundry, the Bitcoin mining pool, have too much Bitcoin hash rate? And as you can see, it was an article by William Foxley, and he was essentially just expressing his concerns that this mining pool has a dangerous 40% hash rate majority. Now, TheStoph, obviously, being a decentralization enthusiast, or maxi, whatever you want to call him, he obviously had to dive straight into this. So just to explain a little bit about what I'm talking about, check out this pie chart. Now, first you can see an independent check of what the current Bitcoin mining pool landscape looks like. So Foundry only actually has 30% majority. So it's not 40, but still, that's pretty damn bad. Which makes the Bitcoin MAV, which is the minimum attack vector, which we talk about a lot, where an actor or group of actors can collude and have majority, which is 51% of the hash. And with Bitcoin, as you can see, that is two pools, and that is not good. I mean, Cardano, remember, is at 20, and we still want to get better than that. But yeah, two pools, that's pretty damn bad. Reading between the lines of the article. So basically, the author doesn't seem too concerned about the 51% majority attack potential of being only two pools, but seemed his issues sound a bit more subtle, I guess, and it's more of a social contract concern. So check out this snippet from the article. But it's key to remember it's not necessarily about the possibility of Bitcoin dying, but rather its social guarantees withering on the vine as public miners cater to Washington, D.C. mandates. North American public miners have a history of appeasement to authority and increasingly make up a large percentage of the network. I mean, that's pretty interesting, but what's he actually on about? So TheStoph being TheStoph obviously dug in a little bit deeper. Marathon goes full contingent staking, KYC mining. Right, so you're probably thinking now we're getting somewhere. Marathon, a publicly traded North American Bitcoin miner, figured it out and implemented KYC mining as the first. Everyone's fears have come true. Okay, so let's clarify that a little bit. So it's not KYC outright, but more sort of anti-money laundering and OFAC compliant blocks. So, which is essentially like just blacklisted addresses from entities that are frowned upon by the sort of US government. But this is Marathon's statement, so check out their words exactly. The mining pool refrains from processing transactions from those listed on the US Department of Treasury's Specially Designated Nationals and Blocked Persons List, SDN, therefore ensuring all Bitcoin mined in the pool is compliant with US regulatory standards. Bitcoin community backlash. Of course, people went mental, and there was lots of debate going around the Bitcoin community regarding this compliant and filtered blocks. So if you check out this article, the blog actually had a great article that covered the controversy of the story pretty well. But in summary, if you read all the articles from the time, Marathon was trying to balance Bitcoin politics with US regulations. But obviously, anyone who knows the Bitcoin community, they are not going to have it. And here's a quote from one of the articles. As a result, the crypto industry was quick to dogpile on Marapool and its newly minted block. So, what happened? Did the Bitcoin community backlash win? Did the pressure and all, and everything work? Yes, it did. Check out this article again. Marathon says its mining pool will stop censoring transactions following Bitcoin community outcry. So yeah, looks like they did it. And here's a video there from the CEO Fred Thiel as he retracts the OFAC compliant sort of KYC mining in that press release he did. But all those articles, they'll be in the description below, so don't worry about that. But wait, what's this? Now, did the community really win? If you read between the lines of this article that we just quoted, apparently, Marathon took a bit of a hit financially from the OFAC compliant mining. So check out this snippet. Over the course of May, Marapool minted 226.6 Bitcoin under this system, which many noted resulted in significantly reduced transaction fees going to the miners, as well as blocks that featured far fewer transactions than peers. With the adoption of Bitcoin Core version 0.21.1, the firm is moving away from OFAC compliant mining. So ultimately, Marathon really sort of folded and recanted their KYC mining because they were actually making less money. It's their bottom line. So when we say, did the community really win? Or did they just realize, oh, hang on a minute, making less money here? Who knows? But that's just the information as it is. Compliant mining makes less money. I mean, it's actually pretty obvious. I mean, in the end, OFAC compliant, or KYC mining, whatever you want to call it, made Marathon less money as miners. And if you're wondering why, it's because there are less transactions, and so which means there are less fees to include in the block after filtering out the bad transactions. So basically, if you look at it like the compliant blocks, they're skinny, they've had the fat trimmed, and the regular blocks are fat, they're unfiltered for the miner rewards. Of course, even from like a 5-year-old's perspective, this was a pretty predictable scenario. So, I mean, just from one of the forums, check out what Witcher Sense says. No rational player will ever join a mining pool that deliberately tends to decrease the revenue of the miners. I mean, Bitcoin mining implies certain economic incentives for miners, such as block subsidies and transaction fees. If some of the pools start to require KYC from miners, miners can always join other pools that don't. KYC pools will therefore have fewer miners, less hash power, and less revenue. Moreover, the senders of suspicious transactions can always pay more fees to propagate transactions through non-KYC mining pools and thus increase the profit of those. Non-KYC mining pools will always be more profitable, more attractive, faster, and freer. So that's what The Witcher said. But that was back in November 2020. Takeaways for the Cardano community. So let's just look at this from an apolitical, financial, and historical perspective. This play out could be a similar thing of what's going on with contingent staking. There obviously was a massive outcry when someone started censoring stuff. So that's not really good. But actually, the compliant pool was having less rewards. And is the same thing going to happen with a Cardano stake pool? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if, the contingent staking pool just wants a private pool with no one else joining so they don't go over saturation. I get that. But, for other pools that are doing it to comply with regulation, they're not going to grow that much. And there could even be censoring transactions as well. But if you look at, you're going to end it with, the way Marathon, what happened to Marathon, was it the fact that it was a public outcry or more the fact they were making less money? And you'll generally find that economic incentives trump sort of all political feelings in the end. But that brings us to the end of the article. But so just don't forget to click the like button, hit subscribe, and get that damn bell button so you can get notified. And share far and wide. We're an educational platform. We just want to help people and reach as many people as possible. But I'm Josh, your presenter for AdaPulse for today, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.